First of all, just to compliment to what Ambassador Gold said about the Abbas reaction to the meeting with Obama and Kerry. So just, everybody says he never came back. This is not true. He did. When he got back to the Muqata from this trip in Ramallah, he stood in front of a big crowd of Palestinians and he told them the following thing. Safarna wa'udna. We went and we came back. And then he said again, Safarna wa'udna. We went and we came back, meaning that we've been to the Lion's Den. And you should know that our victory is guaranteed. We just have to wait. And we stick to the treaty, and we remain committed to the promise. And there is going to be no compromise on the deposit. لا تفريط على الأمانة. That was the answer of Abbas to the Kerry-Obama plan. And the crowd shouted, لازم تعرف إسرائيل حق العودة لا بديل. Israel should know there's no replacement for the right of return. That was the reaction of the Palestinians to the Kerry-Obama plan. Now, I was asked to speak about the Arab reaction to the Peace to Prosperity plan, and I shall, but since Ambassador Gold asked me also to say a few words about the security aspects of the plan, I refer to that too, being in my past the Chief Intelligence Officer of Central Command, the head of the Research Division of the Israeli Intelligence, and the Director General of the Ministry of Strategic Affairs, and writing many publications on the issue, including a chapter in the Hebrew version of this book that is, in my mind, the most important book that was ever written on this topic, Israel's Critical Security Needs for a Viable Peace, that was published by the Jerusalem Center for Public Affairs. Also, I'll speak about the security issues because the reaction of the Arab world and the security issues are very deeply, very closely related and intertwined. The security threats emanate to a large extent from the situation of the Arab world today in two aspects. One, the Arab world and the wider Middle East are engaged in a big ideological battle between pragmatists and radicals that affects Israel's security. Because of this battle, the Middle East is very unstable and a violent neighborhood. The second issue is that some of the major players in the Middle East are determined to harm Israel and support those Palestinians that want to see Israel disappear. The threat picture was gravely exacerbated, by the way, by the previous deal of the century. The deal to embolden Iran and guarantee the Mullah's regime a safe path to acquiring a big military nuclear arsenal and hegemony over the Middle East, also known as the JCPOA. Under this picture, it is easy to understand the security threats that are detailed in Appendix 2A of the plan and the opportunities that are also stated in the plan, and because of that, we can easily understand the reactions of the Arab world to the plan. On the one hand, the pragmatists understand that the plan is necessary, possible, and justified, as President Obama said when he was here in 2013 on peace. It is necessary for their security and for Israel and the Palestinian security. It is possible because it is fair, and the lines were drawn by somebody who knows the terrain extremely well, not like some people think that these lines are done by somebody who doesn't understand the terrain. And it's justified because it is high time the Palestinians stopped preventing the rest of the Arab world from moving forward. The new paradigm upon which the plan is based provides them with an opportunity to take these steps forward. That's one of the biggest difference between this plan and the previous ones. They cannot say it out loudly in a forum like the Arab League, but the participation of some of them in the ceremony, their national leadership reactions, and their diplomatic messages are clear. Because they want the plan at least as a basis for negotiations. Because they want the best for the Palestinians and for themselves, they actually support the plan at least as a basis for negotiations. The Sudan move that was not criticized by the pragmatists says it all. The Hashemite Kingdom of Jordan and the Arab Republic of Egypt are in a more sensitive situation, but it seems that as long as Israel is coordinating its moves regarding the plan with the United States, they will not harm their delicate relationships with Israel. They have a lot to gain from the plan, economically and security-wise, and they have nothing to lose. We all understand that for Jordan, the Jordan Valley component in the plan is exactly what it needs, though Jordan cannot utter it. The radicals, on the other hand, are of course against the plan, since they are against anything that strengthens the pragmatists and Israel. This explains Iran's, Turkey's, and the Islamic State's harsh reactions. They don't care about the Palestinians and their well-being. They only care about their own imperial aspirations and about spreading Islam in their version, which are going to be hampered if Israel is secure, makes peace with the Palestinians, and establishes normal relations with the pragmatic states. The plan gives reasonable answers to most of the threats, both from outside of the areas that are going to be governed by the Palestinians and from within it. These threats include Iran's attempts to gain access to the Palestinians in Gaza and in the West Bank, Islamic State's and Muslim Brotherhood efforts to harm Israel, smuggling of weapons and dual-use material, and the preparation and the perpetration of terror attacks, including the use of rockets and other explosives. Compared with the extremely dangerous security plan of the Obama-Kerry administration that was prepared by General John Allen and that was allegedly accepted by several Israelis and rejected by others, the new plan is much better. The Allen plan did not provide security and was going to cause inevitable bitter quarrels between Israel and the US. In the new plan, Israel is expected to defend itself by itself and has overriding security responsibility in all the areas. It will control the crossings and the areas around the future Palestinian state. It will be able to carry out security-related operations inside the territory of the Palestinian state according to its own decisions and of whether such operations are needed. And unlike the Allen plan, there are going to be no foreign forces involved in any security matters. Moreover, the plan recognizes that the Jordan Valley is critical for Israel's national security and therefore will be under Israeli sovereignty. The concept of security criteria that the Palestinian Authority security forces have to reach before they are given responsibility is very important, as long as the assessment of whether they actually reach this criteria is done solely by Israel. Yet the plan is not perfect from Israel's security point of view. First, since Israel does not have an equivalent area to the Jordan Valley along the border between Egypt and Gaza, the Palestinian-controlled route under or overland that is going to connect Gaza and the West Bank constitutes a threat that was not sufficiently addressed. Second, the review committees that are going to overlook the security and the crossings issues have an American participant, which may erode the Israeli overriding responsibility. Though, fortunately, these committees are going to be much less involved in day-to-day issues compared with their irresponsible Allen plan. Third, the Palestinian state may be established well before the new narrative of the Palestinians have to adopt is inculcated into their culture and psychological infrastructure. The timetables in this respect are vague. We have to remember that the main obstacle to peace is the existing Palestinian narrative, and the entire plan is focused on the need to change it. And this narrative says that there is no Jewish people. This narrative says that the Jews don't have any history, any sovereign history in this piece of land. This narrative says that the Jews are very problematic creatures, and that's therefore there is no need for the Palestinians to live next to them. And this narrative says that it is legitimate for the Palestinians to use any method in order to struggle against Israel, even if they have an agreement with it. That's why they pay for slay. That's why they insist on keeping on paying salaries to terrorists. And this narrative says that the ultimate goal of the Palestinians is a Palestinian state over all of Palestine, all of mandatory Palestine. And these are all things that Palestinians have to change. Even if they change them, even if they accept all of that, It's going to take time before these ideas are going to be accepted by the majority of the Palestinians. Even the leadership will say something like that. And to have a Palestinian state before that happens is a danger that we have to bear in mind. The real paradigm change in the plan is that it deprives the Palestinians from their veto power and tells them that if they don't change this narrative, they will pay a heavy price and everybody will move on. This is why the Palestinian leadership is so much against the plan. Simply put, it refuses to change the narrative and accept that it is a prerequisite for having a state of their own. To manifest their intransigence, they incite their constituency to express their opposition to the plan by violent means, including acts of terror and popular unrest, while they try to fight against the plan on the diplomatic arena. This strategy that already led to several terror attacks and raised tensions was used in the past, and though there were times when it was considered successful from the Palestinian leadership point of view, it seems that this time it is not one of these occasions. Much, of course, depends on the results of the coming elections in the United States. If a Democratic candidate wins, much of this plan is going to disappear. But if Trump gets second term, the Palestinians will have to reassess their policy. Thank you.